Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. I've got Hammonds here with me tonight. We are here to officially begin Season 3. It is Week 1 of college football, and we are here to do our Game Day Pick'ems. Welcome back, man. It is good to be with you guys. I've got a little different setup here, trying it out. So y'all tell me if you think it's great or if it's not or whatever. But I'm trying a little bit of a different setup here for you guys tonight. Look at here. We have got John Roberts on with us. Whoa, that's what I said.
Jesus and the Shepherds, my man.
We have got John Roberts on with us tonight here for College Game Day.
Marvel geniuses.
Yeah, our College SportsCast Game Day. So John's back with us. He's down in Birmingham, Alabama. And I'm doing this time of night so he can maybe join us because he works late. And so that's the reason why I'm doing it this time of night. But this is what we had been doing. I just had kind of been planning on maybe doing it a little earlier, but I do want John to be a part of the show and be here with us. And we always have fun together. And, so it's good to see you, John.
Good seeing you.
It's been a little while, right?
It has.
Yeah. It has. All right, guys. I'm going to scroll this at the bottom of the screen for you guys. I think this will be scrolling all night. Home Field Apparel, go there. Use our code CSCAST. That is on the bottom of the screen. They have some really cool retro college gear. You can over 180 teams. Matter of fact, today they just dropped 72 new coaches' jackets. Today, new teams. There's 72 new teams with a coach's jacket today. It's use our code CSCAST. You'll get a 15% discount, and it'll also help us a little bit as well. So that is on the bottom. Also, True Victory is there. They are a veteran-owned sports gear company, and we would appreciate it. You can use our code DeFanboys there. And that also gives you a 15% discount, and it helps support veterans as well. So that's always something good here that we try to preach and try to live by, is to help our veterans. So those two things, and then the last thing before we get started, if you are with us on Facebook, you can help support us now by sending us stars, or you can subscribe to our page for 99 cents a month. Either one of those will help support us to help us earn a little money to keep making these content for you guys.
I like that view better, like that one. Like that looks pretty good.
So the smaller you are, that's what you like the best? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like that a little bit better.
Is that what you're saying? All right. All right, guys, we are here. It is officially Week 1. There is games going on right now. Oklahoma is demolishing Temple at halftime, 34-0.
Yeah.
And there's 5 or 6 games tonight. Honestly, these are kind of blowout games. I think most of them are tonight. The one late, TCU at Stanford, might be a decent game. That's the late game tonight. I said it's a might. I don't know if it will or not, but out of all the games that's on tonight, that's probably the one game that might be a decent game to tune into and watch, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. All right. On the screen with you guys, there is our Twitter handles. So you can follow us on Twitter. That's what each one of us there is. John Roberts down at the bottom, Drink Local Beham. He is in Birmingham.
That's me.
So that is him down there at the bottom. And then we got J.H. Spores with John Hammonds, and I am Brad CSCast.
Might I add, it is the real J.H. Spores.
Yes. Yes, you probably do need to add
The,
that.
the
yes.
real one. I just say it's the
Well,
real one.
And
Not
he's
any
also
fake one.
verified. So, and all
Re-
these other accounts are just craziness. So,
Real.
I knew John was going to mention that.
well, I mean, he's verified as well. So I don't know what these idiots are doing, but anyway, we are going to get into our game day pick'ems here. I've got 11 games, possibly 2 bonus games. It depends on time wise. I'm going to try to make these
Hey, John.
way
just so you
shorter,
know, I'm the John.
way
in the
shorter than what we've been
John
doing
in
on
the
our
flesh.
preview shows. What's up?
I'm the John in the flesh.
John in the flesh.
Yeah.
So, oh goodness.
All right, guys. The very first game tomorrow. We're not doing any Friday night games. We're going to start with Saturday. There's a game Sunday and a game Monday this week in the opening weekend. We're not doing any Friday night because all these games are already going. So we're going to start with the Saturday games. And one of the very first games tomorrow coming on is a big one. We've got Georgia versus Clemson. And Georgia is as of this evening, about 4:00, I checked these with DraftKings. I do use DraftKings for our spreads. And I checked these with DraftKings about 4:00 this afternoon and put these up. So if things have changed since then, I apologize, but they do change. So this was about 4:00 this afternoon, but the spread at 4 today was 12 favored in Georgia here. So Hammonds, I'll start with you on the Georgia Clemson game here. This is at a neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What are you thinking here with Georgia and Clemson?
I got Georgia. I just think, Kirby Smart is 8-0 in season openers. And that's a pretty big deal. In his tenure there. I don't know what to expect from Clemson. If you're a guy like Tyler from Spartanburg, you think Dabo's underpaid and he's not the greatest, you know what I mean? Like everybody has their thoughts on Dabo. And so while I think this will be close, I still think Georgia will win this game by at least 2 touchdowns. I just don't – that spread's a little high too, though.
It was 13.5 yesterday. It actually came down a little bit.
And I say that because Clemson's got a really good defense. With Woods, Barrett Carter, the guys in the middle that Wood has, they're a really good defense. But do they have enough offense to stay in the game with Georgia is the question. And Klubnik last year, you saw him last year. They was spurts of greatness. Like he would look good, really good a couple of games, and then he would just kind of go back to looking, average. And you never know what you're going to get in a first game. So, but I think, let me see here. I think Georgia to me is I think they win straight up the 12 points.
You think
if you're playing that line, if you're going to cover.
Yeah, I am playing the lines. That's part of the show here. We are going to use lines because I think bettors like to see that, and there are a lot of bettors in sports, period. But everybody loves to bet on football, I think. So, but John Roberts, do you think Clemson has enough playmakers to keep up with Georgia?
Ultimately, no. I mean, I think that Georgia wins it easily. So I'm going Georgia on the minus 12. I just think that they've got too much to what Clemson has. I know that there is no Brock Bowers. I know that there's not who is it, the McClaskey or whatever the other wide McConk. Yeah. There's no other those guys aren't there this year. But I still think that it's next man up for Georgia, and I think that they still have too much talent there. And the fact that Dabo still hasn't gone with the, using the transfer portal or using the NIL and stuff like that. I think that's ultimately going to hurt him. I think he still has a good team, and I think that Clemson still is a very good team and still will ultimately probably be in the ACC championship game and maybe even win win it. But I just don't think that they can stand up to Georgia.
Guys, Georgia is 43-2 the last 3 years. The only 2 is against Bama and Nick Saban, and he's not in the game anymore. On last week, he made a statement on College Game Day, Saban did, that until somebody can step up and beat him. And it actually made me laugh because he literally is telling the whole world, I'm the only one that could beat them, because they're 43-2 and their only 2 losses in 3 years was to Saban and Bama. So, Clemson is a good team. I agree with you, John Roberts. I think they are going to challenge in the ACC, likely be in the ACC championship game, have a chance to win the ACC. However, do I believe that they are on the same level as Georgia right now? I don't. I say give me Georgia and give me the 12 points as well. And before we move on to the next one, Leanne Bryant, if you're still with us, I just want to say hello. Hope you stay with us and glad you're here. I just want to put that out there before we move on to the next one. All right, the next one is an early game on Saturday as well, and it is Penn State at West Virginia. And on the road here, Penn State is a 7.5-point favorite on DraftKings this afternoon. And it was 8. It went down to 7.5 this afternoon. So that's what I'm going to go with. Hammonds, what say you, Penn State versus West Virginia?
Man, this is a tough one to kind of, get after, I think, because it could go one or two ways. West Virginia is so much improved. Green at quarterback, the year that they had last year. Penn State is more of a ground and pound. They have the defense. West Virginia likes to do the same. They got a really good player in Abdul Carter on the defensive side in Penn State. I think they have the better team and they got better weapons. I think the running back is it Singleton or Singletary? Maybe Singleton. I think it's Singleton for Penn State.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think he will control some of the ground game, and I think Fleming will give them a deep threat. But Drew Aller last year, there was spurts where he had some really good times and
he had some good time, yeah.
But I'm going to do this. I'm going to go the upset pick because I made this pick on X earlier, and I'm sticking with it. I'm going to go upset city tomorrow. I'm taking West Virginia over Penn State.
So you're going to take the 7.5 points with the point spread.
I'm going to take the 7.5 points.
All right. All right.
To me, this is I just say this. To me, this is a tough game to start out with right out of the gate. It is a tough game, and West Virginia is not an easy place to play. I don't think it's Penn State hard, but it's not an easy place to play. John Roberts, what do you think on this game here?
Oh, give me country roads, take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
You're going West Virginia at home here?
Oh yes,
yes, I am. Going to give you the 7.5, huh?
I think they're going to win.
Okay. Well, that's what Hammond said as well, but we're going point spread. So,
which means it's still West Virginia because they're going to be only are they going to be inside the number, they're going to flip the number.
Okay. Well,
I hate to go against Neil Brown here. I think he has a great team. They went 9-4. They went 9-4 last year. I love Neil Brown, and I absolutely hate to go against him. But I'm picking this Penn State team to possibly crash the college football playoff. They cannot drop at first game of the season at West Virginia. I think this team has that kind of talent. So
how many years? But how many years, Brad, have we said that Penn State's going to do this and do that? And
there's never been a year. There's never been a year where there was 12 teams making the playoff.
I get that, but still,
12 teams. Penn State would have made the playoff a ton in the last 10 years. Probably 6,
at
8
least
times.
At least last year, but
I mean, they would have made it a ton over the last 10 years if there was 12 teams. So they win against everybody except Ohio State and Michigan most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
But now they get Oregon and Washington and UCLA and USC and
so give me the Nittany Lions here, and I'll take the 7.5 points. All right, our next game we're going to go to, guys, is a big game for Vanderbilt. To be quite honest with you, to start their season off, Virginia Tech out of the ACC goes to Vanderbilt to play in Nashville, and they are a 13.5 point favorite over the doors on their field. Hammonds, Lee Clark. I mean,
Clark Lee. Come on, get it reversed.
Clark Lee. I'm sorry.
Reversed
I reversed it. I'm sorry. He's in his 4th year. I think this is his 4th year.
Really?
I believe.
I don't remember.
I believe so. This is a big game for them. They had a lot of transfer portal turnover and brought in a lot, lost a lot. So it's hard to judge exactly what Vanderbilt is going to be honest with you, right here at the beginning, opening game, I think. But Virginia Tech looks improved. So, Hammond, what do you think on that?
I'm going to take the Hokies in the 13.5. Vanderbilt returns probably one of the worst defenses in the country. And I still think they're going to struggle against really good offensive teams, even though they might be improved at somewhat. Listen, Virginia Tech is probably going to get double-digit wins this year. Their schedule sets up for it. They're looking really good. Drones, their quarterback, is a sleeper for the Heisman in some spots. Their defense is going to be really good. Virginia Tech's going to be the most improved team, I think, in college football this year compared to last year. They had a really rough year last year, but I think this is a game that is, if you want to get double-figure wins, you can't lose this game on the road in Nashville. You got to take care of business on the road, and I think they get it done. And it shouldn't even be really close. And Vanderbilt's going to have to beat them through the air, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
Well, Vandy does, John Roberts here. They have went out and stole a bunch of pieces from New Mexico State, who upset you guys. But
Diego Pavia. They got Diego Pavia.
And the offensive coordinator and the head coach. And, I mean, they stole a bunch of pieces from that New Mexico State team. So is Jerry Kill and, are they going to be able to come in and do something with this offense, basically, for Vandy?
The only thing that they'll be able to do is go down to Auburn and make it really interesting. And guess what?
Oh, me.
They play Auburn at Auburn, but
yeah,
this one's not Auburn. This is being played in Nashville, and unfortunately, they're not going to win this one. So it's going to be Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's going to
and I say this though, John. Vanderbilt has nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, they did.
They can't be any worse.
I don't know. I mean, if they can't win this game, you're looking at a 2 or 3 win season more than likely.
Unless their schedule is brutal, absolutely brutal.
Yeah. I
down the
mean,
Correct.
this is a very important game for them to be able to even come close to 4 or 5 wins, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, this is a very important game. So I think Vanderbilt is going to come out first half. I really feel like they're going to be at the top of what they can be and probably hang in this game for at least a half. I'm kind of with you guys. I feel like this Virginia Tech team is, I don't know if I would go as high as what Hammond said as far as a 10
It
win.
shouldn't even be close, Brad.
As far as a 10 win season here, I'm not sure I'm going to go that high on Virginia Tech, but I will say this Virginia Tech team is vastly improved. I think they could easily be an 8 or 9 win team this year. And like John said, in that, you can't go to Vanderbilt in Nashville and lose if you're going to win and be a improved team, 8, 9, even 10, whatever, what he said, 10 wins, whatever. You can't do that and go to Nashville and lose. Now, the 13.5-point spread, I still feel like it's a 2-touchdown plus win for Virginia Tech when it's all said and done.
This game shouldn't even be close. Like, if you're looking at it from talent on paper.
Yeah, but you don't really know what Vandy is going to do or who they're going to have on offense either.
No, I get that. But if it's the same exact, team from a year ago, which it's probably not going to be, you're going to have different quarterbacks, receivers, such. But at the same
Their
time,
whole offense is basically going to be different.
My biggest thing is the defense. The defense has got to improve. You can't do what they did a year ago.
The head coach is taking over the duties. So the defensive coordinator duties. So if they don't improve, that's on him pretty quickly, I would say. All right, we are going to move on to our next game, and I really probably don't expect you guys to know too much about Chattanooga, but they are the number 9th ranked team in the FCS. They have one of the top returning quarterbacks who signed and played at UCLA for about 2 or 3 years before transferring to Chattanooga. He passed for over 2,600 yards last year and is going to be a star on this Chattanooga team who is predicted to win the SoCon Conference this year. And they are going to Tennessee. And Tennessee here is a 38.5-point favorite at home in Knoxville. Hammonds, I know you are probably going to quickly pick this one, but what do you say on this game?
I think Tennessee covers. I just don't think there's any really hope that Chattanooga can stay in this game now. If they could get a couple stops here and there and maybe, make some noise early in the first half, they could make it a game. But I think Tennessee's got a really good year ahead of them with Nico and Squirrel White and Brew McCoy at wide receiver. I think Tennessee will win this game and they'll get ready for NC State next week, which struggled with the same group, like those same groups.
They played Western Carolina, who is in the SoCon, who is predicted to be third and kind of struggled last night, won 38-21 going away in the fourth quarter.
So that should be a really fun game next week in Charlotte. So,
yeah.
But I picked Tennessee to cover. I picked Tennessee to cover this spread tomorrow.
All right, Roberts, before you make your pick, I'm going to tell you this Chattanooga team, John was talking about maybe getting some stops. This Chattanooga team, it's the offense that they are more known for. So I feel like they may score a little points here. I don't think they're going to win in this game. I just think the 38.5 points is kind of high because if Chattanooga scored 14 points or 17 points,
here's my thing, Brad.
Tennessee's got to cover a lot.
They got their offense. You're going to have to get some key stops because Tennessee plays that wide offensive sets, and you're going to have to get some key stops to at least even have a shot in this game.
I'm just saying, if they score 17 points, 38.5 points is a lot to cover. That's all I'm saying. All right, Roberts, what say you?
I think UT Chattanooga covers.
That's kind of where I'm leaning in this one. Is that Chattanooga could cover this. I'm not saying they're winning by any means. Tennessee is probably win
they
this.
can still get beat by 30 plus and
Yes.
still cover. They just doesn't have to be 39. Just
Right.
be less than 39.
And that's kind of where I'm leaning. I think I'm going to pick Chattanooga to cover this spread. I really do, because I feel like they have the offense to put up 2 to 3 scores. You know, maybe 2 touchdowns and a field goal, something like that. And if that's the case, that would put them, having to score nearly 60 points to cover this spread. Now, they play fast, and hell, who knows? Maybe they might. I don't know. So I'm not saying they can't, but here on Pick'em, I think I'm going to go Chattanooga to cover the spread.
Bill says, only way UT Chattanooga covers if Tennessee sits their starters and they score late.
I covered the SoCon media days, and I did a whole lot of homework on Chattanooga, Western Carolina, and Furman. And I'm telling you, they have a decent offense. They'll score some points. Now, it ain't going to be a lot against Tennessee, but it'll be enough, I think, that it'll cover the spread. That's what I'm saying. And then the next game that we're going to talk about, guys, is also an FCS team. And this one happens to be the number 1 team in the country. South Dakota State is going to Oklahoma State, who is a 9.5-point favorite. John, we saw North Dakota State play Colorado tough last night. We saw Montana State, who is the 3rd or 4th ranked team, beat New Mexico. San Diego State is the best team. Do they have a shot to either win or cover this spread at Oklahoma State?
I think that South Dakota State covers in this one. I think this game is tight. I think that Oklahoma State's going to be clenching their rear ends at the end of this game thinking, oh, my God. So I'm going with South Dakota State covers this game. And Oklahoma State will just squeeze out a victory.
Bill says he could honestly see an upset here in this game, is what Bill says. So just wanted to throw that out there. All right, Hammonds, what say you against Oklahoma State here and the Cowboys? He must be muted.
I'm muted. Oklahoma State, I think has a lot to look forward to this year. They got Bowman back. They got a lot of key players
Ollie
back.
Gordon, probably one of the better running backs in the country.
Listen, this is a game you can't afford to drop because I know everybody's going to say, well, Arkansas scored 70 last night against Arkansas Pine Bluff. But did not Arkansas look better to you offensively than they did a year ago?
The most impressive thing about that game, and it's not that they scored 70, is that they scored touchdowns on their first 10 drives.
Yeah.
Yes, their first 10 possessions.
I think
who you play.
I think they covered this game. I don't think Oklahoma State's going to be looking ahead because they got Arkansas next week. I think they get it done late, and I think they take care of business.
Well, there's no way they're going to be looking ahead here in this. I mean, you're talking about last night in this program, North Dakota and South Dakota State, both of them are
Colorado almost did and almost got beat.
They are the premier programs in the FCS, so they're not going to be looked over. That's for sure. And sometimes Oklahoma State's been known to struggle against some teams every once in a while. I'm not saying it's going to happen here.
Central Michigan? Does Central Michigan ring a bell?
Yeah, I mean,
Was
they've
it when
been
they
known to
lost?
struggle here. I'm not saying it's going to happen here, and I do believe firmly that this North Dakota State team, and I see that I spelt that wrong in there, but anyway, this North Dakota State team is going to be ready to play, and this is not going to be an easy game. But I think I'm going to go 10 plus here in this one. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys and say that they win by 10 or 10 to 14 in this game. All right,
Gotcha.
so we are going to move on to Miami at Florida in the Swamp, and the Hurricanes are a 2.5-point favorite in the Swamp. Hammonds, what do you think on this game?
I think this would be a better game than most people expect. I know everybody's going after Billy Ball, saying this possibly could be his last year. But at the same time, I think Miami's defense is going to give Florida some problems, especially on the ground. The best shot Florida, I think, has at winning this game is through their air. And one of their best playmakers, I think, is in the NFL. So I don't think it's going to be easy for them, but it's in the Swamp. So at the same time,
Pearsall's not doing any one-handed grabs.
No. Miami, I feel like Miami opens the season and they win against the spread in Gainesville, which, playing in the Swamp is not an easy task for anybody. There's been a lot of teams go in there and lose, but there's a lot of momentum and pressure riding on Billy Napier this coming year. There just is. And now I'll say this. If they could come in and they could upset Miami right out of the gate and go 1-0, it could change the whole trajectory of their whole year. But I don't think that happens this weekend. I think Miami takes – I just think Miami has a little bit better front four and defense.
All right. John Roberts, Hurricanes, and the Gators. I think that's the Florida Chomp, I think, is what that is.
I just don't see it happening, John.
Yeah, so I got Florida winning this one outright at home against Miami. I just think that the Swamp will be too big of a task for Mario Cristobal and his in-game coaching prowess. I think that's actually going to be the difference. It's more of.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Cam Ward? He's actually playing for Miami this year. So.
Yes, I know. I'm aware of Cam Ward.
Yeah, he's
quarterback for Miami is pretty all right. Yeah. He's pretty good. I think Graham Mertz is got to be the guy that takes over the game. He's been hurt. I think he will be able to at least do what he needs to be able to do with throwing the ball and at least being somewhat of an athlete out there. But I really think just Florida will win this one in the Swamp. I don't think that it really does anything for Florida's season because Florida's schedule is absolutely atrocious. I think that this at least gets them a leg up, but I also think that they end up still somewhere,
Well, it's definitely an important game for them as far as the season goes because their schedule is so rough. I mean, if they can get this win, I mean, it would be huge for them to get bowl eligible. To be quite honest,
here's why I disagree with that statement because it's a rivalry game, and not against you, John. It's a rivalry game. There's a lot on the line. Billy Napier's job's on the line. There's a lot happening, and I think you beat Miami, and you kind of quiet the noise for a week because you beat a really good Miami team that is getting a little bit of hype to maybe possibly be in the top 12.
They quiet it for
They
2 weeks
are?
because they'll play Samford in week 2.
Yeah.
What I'm saying,
So-
and you go 2-0 right out of the gate,
Yeah.
like you change the whole.
Oh, it would be
trajectory.
huge. But
You
I'm
change
going to
the
be
whole
honest
season.
with you. My pick, I feel like that Cam Ward, you was talking about Graham Mertz being the difference. I think if there's going to be a quarterback that's going to be a difference in this game, I think it's Cam Ward.
Oh no, Cam Ward is a much better quarterback. But I'm just saying that Graham Mertz will have to be the one that has to. I mean, he's got to be able to do some of the things he did at Wisconsin. But I mean, he was out. He was hurt most of last year.
I'm just saying, in this game, the quarterback play, if you're going to compare the two, listen, Graham Mertz is a decent quarterback. Cam Ward could be a top 5 quarterback in the country in college football. He's that talented.
Well, I agree.
So in this game, at a 2.5 point spread here, I think I'm going to take the Hurricanes over the Gators, even though it's at the Swamp, which is very hard to fathom. But I think that's what I'm going to do, is take the Hurricanes over the Gators in this one. All right. So that is at the halfway point. So I am going to do a little bit of a break here, and we're going to tell you guys that we are now on the Real Fresh channel. And the Real Fresh channel on YouTube, and we are also on WSBN TV channel 30. You can find us on with Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV. All you got to do is download the BoxCast app and find World Sports Broadcasting Network. And once you find them, you can find College Sportscast on channel 30 through the BoxCast app on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. I'm going to let Howie from the Real Fresh channel tell you a little bit about his channel.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Health Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
All right, guys, that was Howie from the Real Fresh channel. He is a great partner with us. We are on his channel every single show. Tonight's show will be on there later, but we are on his channel every single show now. So check him out. Subscribe to us and him on the YouTube, College Sportscast, and the Real Fresh channel. And we appreciate Howie. So I had to get that in. And I thought the halfway point would be a good spot to put that in there. So, all right. The next game we're going to get to, guys, is a big one tomorrow night. You got Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Kyle Field, huge game tomorrow night. Texas A&M is giving 3 points here. Of course, it's at home, Kyle Field, but they're giving 3 points against number 7 Notre Dame. I think Texas A&M is ranked 20th in the preseason poll. So Hammonds, what say you? The Irish versus the Aggies.
If this was later in the year, I would probably pick Texas A&M. But there's still some ways to go with this A&M team. They're looking at their offense where last year they was ranked 101st in the country in red zone efficiency. They'll be a fun team a hard team to play against later in the year. But I just think Notre Dame is getting them early. And I think Notre Dame has more of, they probably got the most polished quarterback in the country in Riley Leonard. They got a really good offensive line, and they got a favorable schedule. Notre Dame does. So I think they take care of business here, but Texas A&M is going to be good. I just think early in the year, right out of the gate, there's going to be some growing pains. But give me Notre Dame. I'll take Notre Dame in the 2.5, the plus 2.5.
All right. So, John Roberts, you and the Aggies, what do you got?
Well, I got the Colt of Texas A&M beating the Catholics of Notre Dame. And yes, the Colt will win this one. I'm not proud of what I just said.
Yeah, he's him and the Aggies. They have this thing. So that's the reason why I threw it to him that way. Yeah, they have this thing, and yeah. So, I mean, here's my deal with when it comes to this game. I feel like Notre Dame has a real shot at the college football playoff. I think A&M with a new coach, new system, some new players. There was a few that left, in the transfer portal and stuff. I think they're putting this together. I think they are I have seen some people that picked them, I thought, way too high. I think this is a 8-win team at best, somewhere around there, something like that. And I think Notre Dame has championship capabilities. I really do.
Well, and two, Riley Leonard is probably going to have a better select of playmakers around him that he didn't have.
If Riley's healthy, if he's healthy, I think he's a way better quarterback than Hartman was last year that transferred into there. I really enjoy watching Riley play.
That's another thing I would like to talk about when we get a chance is the fall-off of Sam Hartman. What happened to that kid?
Yeah, we'll do some debates. That is something.
He got cut from the NFL team that he was on.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking about that. From Wake Forest, he just never was
to Notre Dame. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen to Riley Leonard here. I'm picking Notre Dame and the Irish in this one to win this, and I'm going to give the 3 points. I just feel like they have a solid shot here to make the college football playoff with the new 12 team. So, all right, the next one we're going to go to is Fresno State at Michigan. This is a game. Michigan's had a ton of change, as far as coach-wise and just having to deal with a lot of stuff. They had allegations this week come out as far as the NCAA delivered their allegations to them, I guess you could say. Is that a distraction, John, for them, do you think?
Look, I mean, it can be. I just don't think it really will be a distraction for Michigan. I think Michigan has a lot more problems than that. The
defensively, I think this is still a solid. They have a lot of talent.
I think defensively they'll be okay. I think offensively they may be challenged. And
I do too. Replacing JJ McCarthy is going to be a lot.
Right. And I'm not really sure exactly how to go about a team that has just won, the national championship but they lost a lot. So, I mean, you can go back. There are several teams that have done this where they were really good and they kind of threw their shot at one, for one season. And then, they completely don't really completely fall out. But I think this is a year where,
I could easily see
their streak against Ohio State may not
be 8 or 9 win team this year for Michigan.
Right. And I'm seeing, something that's very similar to the same thing. I think that they would be, they could easily be an 8-4 type team. So with that being said, I don't know if they can.
Fresno is predicted about an 8-win team out in the Mountain West. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there have been good Fresno State teams
yeah,
in the past. I don't know. I mean, because that right there, I think up front a Michigan team can handle their own, and that's usually where Michigan will win games is in the trenches. I don't know if they're going to have everybody back as far as offensive line.
a whole lot of Donovan Edwards is going to be my guess.
Right. So that's where I'm kind of leaning, and I don't know if that allows them to score a lot of points with them. They'll be just basically running the clock the whole time. So I don't know if that's going to allow them to do that, because if Fresno State starts, is able to score and be able to score enough, I don't know if Michigan does the 21. I'm going to go that Michigan does it. I'm not really happy. I'm not really confident in this one.
Okay.
I'm going to say yes, Michigan 21, but I'm not very confident in it at all.
All right, Hammonds, what about you on this one?
Fresno, I think, they got a new coach. They got some skill offensive players back. But I think, too, they're having to go to the big house right out of the gate and play the defending national champions. And that, to me, that's tough right out of the gate. And, if Michigan can figure out their offense, like y'all was saying, if they can figure out how to get, quarterback play together, Donovan Edwards going at the same time, this could be a really good team because the defense might be the best in the country.
The defense is extremely solid, for sure.
They got Mason Graham, Will Johnson, they're really, really good. And I think they win this game based off their defense. I think they get enough stops to stop Fresno State, but I do think Fresno State will get some drives and they'll move the football, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat them in the big house. So I think Fresno State covers the spread.
Give me I got an interesting question. I'm gonna kind of interject in this one. Michigan versus Iowa. Two not great offenses, but really good
defenses.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Is this a 9-6 game?
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that when we were starting talking about this. I was like, man, there's another team that's out there that's really known for defense, but also known for not having great offenses. So,
my guess in this game is that you're going to see a really heavy dose of Donovan Edwards and their other back that, because they'll be a 2-back system for sure. They always are. And, so, I mean, I think you're going to see a heavy dose of that, and it's at the big house. I'm with you, Roberts. I don't feel real comfortable about this, but I think I'm going to pick them to cover this 21 against Fresno. But I really am like you. I really don't feel confident in that pick. I would not bet this if I was a betting person. You know what I mean? I wouldn't bet. I would not bet this game. I can tell you that. There's no way.
How confident are you for the next one?
The next one is Southern Miss at Kentucky. That's the next game we're going to get to. So there's no Brett Favre at Southern Miss, so I feel pretty confident in that.
Well, that's good. That's good. You know what else? I feel really confident in this one. I really do.
All right. That's good. So Southern Miss is going to Lexington tomorrow night. This is a later game. This doesn't even start till nearly 8:00 Eastern time tomorrow night, this game. So it's a after dark game. Now that we don't have the Pac-12, 8:00. Can we say 8:00 is after dark?
It'd be the Big Ten at 10 will be the one that you're going to be looking at when you have
Big Ten at 10. Okay.
That's right.
Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah. When you have I'm more referring to when you have your West Coast Big Ten teams. Yeah. So the Big Ten at 10 is going to be your Pac-12 after dark.
Pac-12 after dark. Okay.
Yep. Big 10 at 10.
All right. I just thought I'd throw that in there because this is a late game for Kentucky, I think.
Right.
But It's a 26.5-point favorite at 4:00 this afternoon. This spread has been everywhere. 2 days ago, I saw it at 23.5. Yesterday, I saw it at 28.5. Today, when I went on there, it's 26.5. So I don't know. This spread's been everywhere the last 3 or 4 days.
What was the highest the spread has been?
28.5 is what I seen as the highest.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was 26.5 about 4:00 this afternoon. So, John Roberts, I'll let you go first in this one.
Man, they could double this spread and Kentucky covers.
You think
Come
so?
on. Yeah.
Well, Southern Miss is a 3-9 team 2 years in a row. Their coach, to be honest with you, is probably on the hot seat because Southern Miss is known for a football program, and they just haven't been the last few years. Now, They did get a transfer quarterback in there that they are thinking is going to help them a little bit. He's the one that started the ACC championship game, I think, against Louisville at Florida State after Jordan Travis got hurt. I can't think of his name.
Oh, the third string quarterback? Remember
that?
Yeah. They were on the third.
Right. It was that game. It was their third string quarterback. Yeah. It was that guy. He has transferred in to Southern Miss. So,
Tate Roadmaker.
There you go. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going to be enough to cover. I don't think he's going to be enough to get Southern Miss into this game. I think Kentucky easily covers. I think that they will have. I mean, I honestly believe it's going to be one of those games like what you saw last night with Arkansas and Missouri. I think that it's one of those.
I can't see Stoops doing that, but
I don't think he doesn't have to try.
Yeah.
I don't think he has to try on this one. He could still sit there and try to call off the dogs and run his fourth string running back. If they can't tackle him, he's going to run to the end zone. I mean, I don't think he's going to lay down in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
this is things I've been told. There's going to be a lot more no huddle stuff. Like they're going to be going to the line a little bit quicker. They should dominate Southern Miss. They've been struggling, to even get out of the basement of the Sun Belt. They had a lot of turnover from a year ago. The defense was really atrocious last year for Southern Miss.
They got they're 3-9 the last 2 years, right?
And they got a lot of question marks offensively. And Kentucky's defense, according to pundits, is going to be legit.
It's the real deal. Like they could be top 2 or 3 in the conference.
So they're going to be, top 2, top 3. And I just think that I don't even think Southern Miss gets over 10 points. And I know that's pretty crazy to say, but I just think this defense is going to swallow their running backs up. I think they're going to put pressure on the quarterback.
Do we cover 4 scores, basically? Because that's about what that is. 4 scores.
I think they can.
Oh, easily.
I think this is going to be a game where you're going to have backups in probably late in the fourth.
See,
your score will be in the 50s.
Yeah, but John, I've been a Kentucky fan all my life, and I'm going to tell you right now, Stoops does not perform well in the opening games. He also does not run up the score. He doesn't even try. If we have a 28-10, let's say we have a 28-3 halftime lead, I promise you, we will be lucky if we score one more touchdown because he will just call off the dogs. And my problem with this spread is, and I've been saying it all week long, all these fans, because they know I'm a Kentucky fan, have been asking me, are we going to cover? Are we going to cover? And I've been telling them I'm worried about this spread. I think it's too much.
For 3 quarters, you would have to take a knee on every dadgum offensive play to not cover. For 3 quarters, take a knee.
I would agree with you, Brad, but this is the most talented team that Stoops
It is, but I cannot get it out of my head what I've seen for the last 11 years with Stoops. And it's just so hard to fathom. But I will go against, because you guys are right. Kentucky should dominate this game. Like it
Take
should
a knee for three quarters.
It should be 45-3 easily. I mean, honestly, like they should dominate this game.
52-3. There's your score. 52-3. I think you score over 50.
I'm gonna go with Kentucky saying that. And I really feel like that's the way this game should. We should see a former five-star quarterback Brock with weapons like Jeremy Maclin and Barryon Brown and Dane Key and Josh Caddis. I mean, there's just so many weapons on this team and a defense to back it up. So even though the pundits are not giving this Kentucky team a whole lot of credit, this Kentucky team is really talented and could be a difference maker on the season for college football. I'm not talking about just SEC here. I mean, they could be if they can put it together. The problem is Stoops has had trouble putting it together at certain times. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now I'm going to check comments because we had a few more people on right there while we was talking about Kentucky. I don't know if Hammond's messaged some people or what, but we did have a few more people on there when we were talking about Kentucky. If you're talking about Kentucky, Bill, you're absolutely right. There's definitely one of the non-conference games that we actually stink it up and usually barely win and occasionally have lost. Yeah, Bill says Brad's right on this one. I'm telling y'all, Stoops has never done good opening game and against non-conference foes like that early. He's just not. All right, but we're going to move on. We're going to go on to the Sunday night game here. This is LSU as a 4-point favorite versus USC. This is not a home game. This is a neutral site game. And it is, you got Brian Kelly going once again to play these opening games, and everybody thinks LSU is going to win. And what say you, John Roberts?
Yet again, this is one of those where I'm not going to be very confident because I think Southern Cal. I mean, look, this is one of these games where I think it might be a track meet. I think it's just going to be whoever has the ball last wins. I'm not really confident. Not confident in either defense. I do have a little bit more confidence in LSU's defense because I do think that they will be better than they were last year. But I haven't ever seen it. Sure. I haven't ever seen a Lincoln Riley coach team that played defense. I don't know if that's exactly what I've been saying. So that's one of those where I'm not really sure about, So it's just, what offense can score touchdowns more than kick field goals or anything like that. So I think I'm going to go LSU. Again, we're, as confident as I was with Kentucky on the last one, I'm going to be equally as not confident with LSU on this one. I think LSU wins this one. I think USC and LSU put up like a combined, 80 points. It's gonna be stupid.
Speaking of that, okay, so last night I was doing a show with Talking Kentucky with Coleman, and we talked about this game right here, and the over and under for points scored, total points scored, is 64. I said, "Oh my Lord!" I said that right there is your lock of the week right there.
Yeah, give me the over.
These two offenses. Give me the over. That's the lock of the week right there.
I think they're north of 75.
Yeah, I said 80.
Yeah, I mean,
between the two teams.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a 45-35, and you've got 80 points right there.
Yeah.
And I think that might be what it is, but I think it might be like a 45, 41 kind of game.
Right. It could be.
Yeah. And like I said, I feel slightly more confident in LSU's defense than I do in USC's because I don't know if Lincoln Riley has ever had a defense on the field at any
I don't
given
think
time.
he has.
I'm
I
not
really
really
don't.
sure. I'm pretty certain that you're playing against air. So as long as LSU can connect against air and run against air, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All right, Hammonds, what say you?
I'm
Here
going to
with LSU and the
take
Trojans.
LSU to cover the 4 points. Garrett Nussmeier is one of my quarterbacks to watch in college football this year. He's going to be fun to watch. This is going to be a much improved LSU team, an LSU team that probably, if they win this game, their schedule sets up for them that they could possibly get to the 12-team playoff and maybe even win the SEC. But they got to get past Georgia and Texas and a bunch of those others. But I think LSU is going to be much improved offensively and defensively. But I will say this, that if you haven't heard of Branch, I think it's Zachariah Branch for USC.
Yeah, he's lightning. Yep.
He's really good. And Miller Moss for the quarterback for USC is a really good quarterback too.
Yes,
I mean, offensively, they're not going to miss a beat.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think it'll be a track meet because of what you're talking about.
This game to be, maybe 28-28 at halftime, and somebody has to.
I'm telling you, 64 for the over/under total on this is insane. If that's what it is, go put it as the lock of the week. I'm telling you.
And they're playing in Vegas, right? This is the one that's in Vegas. So they're playing on.
It's at UNLV.
You're playing. Is it at UNLV?
Yeah, I think it's at UNLV. I think
so. It's not in the. It's not in the Rhombus.
It's in Reliant Stadium where the Raiders play. I think.
Okay, so it is where the Raiders play in the Roomba.
Right. Yeah.
The giant hockey puck. Got it.
Yeah. That's it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So
all right, you both are taking LSU in the 4 points. See, I struggle with this one, man.
Oh, I struggle with it too.
Like bad. I struggle
better
with
an SEC defense over
Brian Kelly
Riley.
can't win the first game of the season. Like he just ain't showed it. He can't win it. And Harold Perkins, is he going to show up? Is the defense
He's still
going to
play?
up?
Harold Perkins is still supposed to play in the same position that he played last year.
Which was
so
terrible.
They're not really putting him back in the position in which he was.
Where he was really good as a freshman. Exactly.
And they will have Baker from Missouri. He's the new defensive coordinator, so they'll be much improved.
I'm just not sold yet, but it's the first game. We ain't seen them, so it's very hard. I struggle with this one so bad. I'll take LSU, but God, I hate it. I mean, you guys have no idea on that game. That's the one game I didn't want to touch, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I looked at that one and was like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that one, to be honest. Boston College goes to FSU. Florida State, of course, coming off that tough loss in Dublin last week. They are a 16.5-point favorite at home over Boston College. Hammonds, can they salvage something here and do what they're supposed to do?
I think they will. I think they'll get back to winning. DJ Ungole. I think that's how you say it.
Uwe Ungole.
Ah.
Ching chang. Walla walla bang bang.
Walla walla bang bang.
Yeah, there you go.
I think DJ will play better. It's a home game now. That's a tough game to watch last week. They went the opening drive, scored.
What's up, Dave? You missed Michigan.
Are you telling me that DJ is going to be a different DJ than the DJ that he's been in the last 3 years? He's going to be different. He's going to be different.
It's a home game. They're going to be,
throwing 1-yard passes.
I mean, if that's what you call that, a
little shuffle.
I mean, I get it. The guy gets a lot of hate, but I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback.
I think he had a decent year last year at Oregon State, and I think honestly he probably should have stayed there. But
against who? What defenses do they play in the Pac-12?
But there was several really good teams in the Pac-12 last year.
Oregon, USC,
I mean,
Washington.
look, Bo Nix had a hell of a year playing in the Pac-12 too.
Yeah, and Bo Nix just won an NFL job too.
He did.
yeah.
So I mean, he did.
But I'm just saying that everybody knew he was going to be better in the Pac-12 because he wasn't playing against any SEC defenses.
You can't keep knocking Bo Nix, man.
I'm not knocking Bo Nix.
He's proved
Bo Nix.
He's proved
I
himself
liked him.
by now.
I liked him.
I'm just saying.
I didn't like the coaching he got, and I don't necessarily like whether, I think his dad kind of interfered too much, but
yeah,
it's a whole different thing.
But I'm telling you, he's proven it. Like he not only did he do all that in college the last 2 years, but he's proved it at Denver and won the starting job as a rookie.
Yeah, over another Auburn quarterback.
But
yes.
my I think they win by. I think they cover the spread. I think they get back to FSU football, and they take care of business after losing to Georgia Tech. And to be honest, Georgia Tech might be one of the sleepers to watch in the ACC. If we're being
all right,
fair. I mean,
John Roberts, what say you?
My concern for FSU is where did they get beat against Georgia Tech?
The line play is where they got beat against Georgia Tech.
What does Boston College normally like to do?
Pound
the
ground
ball,
and,
yeah.
Ground and pound.
Yeah, ground and pound,
Can
yeah.
they stop that? I
don't know.
There you go. Because that's the big thing right there is the
I would
thing
think
I'm looking
that
at is
they've
that
had a rough week. I would think
defensive
Norvell
lines
has straightened that
bad.
shit out.
Well, I
But
hope
maybe
so.
not.
I hope so.
I mean,
do you think that they're going to be able to straighten it out in 1 week?
they better. That's all I know. If they're going to be anything what they thought they were going to be, they better.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
I'm going Boston College stays inside the number. I mean, they could still lose by 2 touchdowns and still be inside of 16.5. So I'm going
I'll say this.
Boston College.
If you lose to Boston College, you can kiss the college playoff goodbye.
Well, that's
of
sure.
course.
Absolutely.
I think they kissed the college playoff goodbye with 1 loss because why? They couldn't get into a playoff with no losses.
Yeah,
so
we got 12. They can still get in, but they pretty much have to run the table.
Yes,
They
and
can't
I don't
afford
think they will.
No more than one more loss. Like,
yeah,
if we're being honest. Yeah.
They're gonna have multiple losses the rest of the year.
All right. Home game. I'm going to go with the Durham Seminoles here. I know Boston College is a decent team out of the ACC, and you're right, John. They will probably pound the ball, and that's probably going to be their game plan. Is to control that defensive line play because that's what Georgia Tech did. That's what Georgia Tech is known for as well. The Big Uglies and Brent, that's what he's known for as well. So I think Boston College is going to take a play off of that and try to do that. I just think that smash mouth ball going to FSU, coming off of a loss like they did, I just feel like at home they're going to take care of business. So give me the Seminoles and the 16.5 points. All right, so we are at almost an hour and 10 minutes here. Quickly, we'll do 2 bonus ones here. Just give me what you got. So I've got 2 bonus ones. I've got Colorado State at Texas, a 33.5 point favorite. Does the Longhorns cover the spread? Do they cover the spread at home?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Very easily.
I wanted to know. Colorado State is a decent team out of the Mountain West. The 33.5 sounds a little high, but I wanted to ask that question. Same question here. Western Kentucky University, who has usually a high octane offense, goes to Alabama to play in Tuscaloosa. It is a 31.5 point spread in DeBoer's debut. for the Tide after Saban here. So does Alabama cover a 31.5 point spread against the Hilltoppers?
Yes. Easily.
I think they do, but it's awful.
Look,
I'm going to surprise you guys on this one. I'm going to say no.
The opposing quarterback is TJ Finley.
I know who it is.
Who may or may not have a touchdown at all in his past 2 times playing in
but I'm going to tell you what.
In Bryant-Denny.
Their coach, I mean, they can score points. Now, I don't know if Finley's going to be able to handle it or not. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, Western Kentucky has the offense. They can score points and put them up fast. Now, they're not going to score tons, but here's the deal. If they score 20 points, Bama's got to score over 52 to cover the spread.
Right. It'll be 53-17.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna surprise everybody and say I think that Western holds them within the 31.5. Now, the Texas one, I agree with you guys. I think they do cover the spread. I think Western's got a better offense. So, all right, that's going to do it. I did throw in those 2 extra. Before we go, John, I'll let you do a little bit of talking there. It's up on the screen. I'll let you do a little talking there for Home Field Apparel.
Home Field Apparel is college, I guess they're premium vintage designed apparel. It is awesome. They've got over 180 colleges that they are licensed to distribute. They have just dropped how many? 70 coaching jackets, 70 coaches jackets, Bombers. Yeah. Is it the Bombers?
It's not Bombers. It's a new jacket. It's called Coaches Jackets. Yeah.
Coaches Jackets, and they got hats. They got they've got T-shirts. I've got one right here. This is Auburn baseball one. It's got the baseball script. I've got several other Auburn ones. One that I may or may not be wearing tomorrow in Jordan-Hare Stadium. But the Home Field Apparel, if you go to the website and it is your first time buying Home Field Apparel, use CSCast, the promo code CSCast for 15% off. And dude, just go and get that stuff, man. It is awesome. They've got tons of awesome apparel,
tailgating every day. If you want to show your pride for your team, they have some really cool stuff to do.
That's right. And they've got the Furman FU shirts. I am very much a fan of that. They've got some retro looking Arizona State looking stuff. It looks really cool with the old devil, the old Sun Devil there.
Right. They got all kinds of stuff, man.
Yes,
I mean,
all kinds.
They've been adding teams and stuff and they have new drops all the time. So just check them out. You can also go to greenvillesportsmedia.com, and towards the bottom, there is a little icon down there for Home Field Apparel. That is our link. That will help us as well.
Yeah, and look, guys, if your school is not on Home Field Apparel, it's probably not because of Home Field Apparel. Don't yell at Home Field Apparel. Yell at your school for not giving up the license. For not releasing it. For not releasing the license to Home Field Apparel. Just like I want to yell at a certain school that is down the street for not releasing their license to Home Field Apparel. It is not Home Field Apparel's fault. They tried to get that school, and that school just hasn't done it. I would love to have that school. Yeah. It's a certain green and gold. They played Thursday night.
Yeah.
I would love to have them on Home Field Apparel. They have not gotten on Home Field Apparel. So it stinks.
All right. It is not showing up for me. Do you guys see the Follow College Sportscast thing on the screen?
The what? Yeah, right there. Follow College Sportscast on Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, X. Go to greenvillesportsmedia.com. And I'm just straight up reading the scroll at the bottom
you
of the
did.
screen.
Yep, you did. All right. So I just wanted to, before we go off the air here, put that up. Follow us, follow College Sportscast. We're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, or our Twitter X accounts are what you see on the screen there. Brad CS Cast, Drink Local Beham, and J8 Sports. So
I don't know what
we
I'm doing.
appreciate that.
There we go.
Also, hit that subscribe, go to our Facebook page, YouTube page, and hit that subscribe.
What's up, Brett?
We got somebody joining us.
Good old
Okay.
Red.
What's up, man?
What's up, Brett?
We are about to close it out, but we appreciate you joining us and coming on. So I want to put that out. But I hope you guys enjoyed our week 1 game day pick'ems for season 3 here at College Sportscast. And I am Brad, and John Roberts is down at the bottom, and John Hammonds is to the side of me there. So
Hey, I heard that Auburn was going to lose to Florida A&M tomorrow.
That's great. Florida A&M is a great school. Guess what? They're
They
not
don't play
playing
it.
Auburn tomorrow.
Yeah, Alabama A&M. That's what they play.
Alabama A&M. That's it. Oh, goodness.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy your Saturday, the first real Saturday, week 1 of college football. I know I'm going to enjoy it. There's lots of good games, and been looking forward to this for 8 months. So enjoy your Saturday, guys.
Have a good one.